when I used to make like $1 a day. I saved up for months and I bought a microphone, way worse than this microphone. And then I saved up for like half a year and I bought a computer. I the whole time I was like recording on my iPhone. So I was recording and editing on my iPhone when I first started, and then I got a microphone you could plug in, then I got a computer to edit on. And then after like 2 years of just filming on my phone, I had 100,000+ subscribers, but I still didn't have a camera because those things cost like $1,000, or I was stupid. I didn't realize you could buy like a G7X for $400. So then I bought a camera, and after that I bought monitors for my computer, and I just kept going and reinvesting basically the entire time. So like for the last like 8 or 9 years, like every dollar I've made, I just spent it the next month on content. And I just did that every single month, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and here we are. My first brand deal, I'm sure you guys have heard the story, but for people that don't know, I was offered $5,000 for a video. But this was when I was like 19, and it was so much money. It's like, Mom, look. And I was like, double it, and I'll walk outside and I'll give it to a homeless person. And they're like, no, you won't. And I was like, double it. And I had like pacing around my neighborhood for 3 hours convincing this guy, like on the phone, just double the money. I promise the video will go viral, and I'll give it to a homeless person. If I saw a homeless person, I would, open my wallet and give them almost all the money I had. It's just fun, because then you see the reaction, their face light up, stuff like that. And so it kind of was just something I always enjoyed, because there were so much easier ways to get views back then than like having to give away money and less stressful stuff. But I just enjoyed it. And I thought it was interesting to see people's reactions and like to try to like, they're expecting $1 and you give them 100 and they're like, oh my God, So it's just kind of like a mixture of what I thought was interesting, but also what I enjoy, if that makes sense. I thought it was a freak of nature, because like people would tell me, all you do is talk about YouTube. You're too obsessed with YouTube, like get a life. Like from 13 to like 19, I never met anyone who cared about YouTube, like not even an ounce. And so I was so untalkative. People thought like there was problems with me because I just wouldn't talk to anyone. Because all I would do is talk about YouTube. And after a while, like you realize like no one cares. You just get labeled as the guy that just only likes YouTube. And so I kind of just like didn't talk at all. And then when I was 19 and I had like 10,000 subscribers, maybe it was like 18. And that's when I started meeting a few other YouTubers online. And I realized like, I'm not a freak, I'm just like obsessed with YouTube, and that's okay. You just gotta find other people that are like that. Most people want to talk about South Park when you're younger, or when I was younger, or cartoons or whatever. And I back then was figuring out how to drop ship or how to better edit a video or stuff like that. Like, bring that up at a high school lunch table. Well, I guess now people care. Yeah. Bring that up at a high school lunch table 10 years ago and see what they say. For 3 years, and I made like 2 videos on that, and I was just so shocked. I was like, guys, and I remember like telling everyone I know, and they're all like, who cares? I was like, guys, YouTubers can make money. Like, I thought it was just cool to be. Did you know they can make money? I'm like a stupid teenager, like really young. I was like, how is this possible? I was like, that's so much money. That's more than like my mom makes, in like so many years. And I was mind blown by it. And like I would find stuff like that and just make videos on it because I thought it was cool. And back then, which I think small YouTubers should do, is I would reply to every single comment. And so I think a few people caught on that I would always reply. And so some people would just be like, I wonder how long it'll take for him to reply. And like, so that was a lot of my comments when I was smaller, but at least it kept him coming back. And it's like, it got to a point though where I was getting hundreds a day, and I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't spend an hour a day doing comments. And so I dialed it back. Like, I just remember like making videos, and I remember being like, dang, like everyone's telling me like, you're stupid, you're very awkward, like, why would you make it? There's millions of people trying. And I just remember being like, I don't know, I just like it. I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna die trying. So after just grinding year after year, there's probably some blur between when I was 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there, it just started to get a little bit of views. I told this story years ago, it probably would have helped. It's so much more acceptable now. Like, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, everyone wants to be a TikToker. Like, growing up now, like, you can just tell by the people and the numbers and explosion of social media that like it's a lot more widely accepted. And also it might also be where I grew up in North Carolina. It's different than LA, but back then like it really just was a strange thing, you know what I mean, to like want to dedicate your life to being a YouTuber and being that obsessed. And so for me, like there's probably like 0 people within a 1 hour radius of me that actually loved YouTube like I did and anything like that. So it's just like, if you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it, it's like, you just feel like a weirdo, like an outcast. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, oh, well, I just need to find different people. I thought like, oh, my whole life I'll just never enjoy talking to people. And then I met other YouTubers, and then I started talking to them like 10 hours a day. And it was like, then that's when the channel really started taking off. So like, imagine a world where it's just you working solo, and you work 12 hours a day every day for like a year, and you're just grinding. You make a mistake, you learn from it. You grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that for like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. Friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday. He teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. And then like, you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like, after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. It really does make a difference, especially like my friend group. When I was like, I met a bunch of people when I had 10,000 subscribers, and we all like, we agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. That's literally all we did. It's wild. Like, I've told this story before, but for people who didn't listen to our other podcasts, like one day I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call, and then I went to bed, and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends and stuff like that. I don't even know how I got food. Like, pretty sure I was just ordering food so I didn't even have to leave my house so we could keep working. Like, it was that level of obsession. It was just dumb. It was so unhealthy. Like, you know, not everyone has ambition and stuff like that. But if you really do want to be the best you can possibly be the biggest YouTuber, you should look at hiring as a way to free up your time so you can do more important things, and even then, and hyper optimize every little minute. And anything that isn't work, you should outsource to someone else so you can recharge, so you can work again. When you just do it and you just study year after year after year after year, and you learn from every mistake, and you have other people doing it, and you're teaching each other. And like if you want to be a YouTuber, if you're watching this, right, like, and you're thinking in the scale of 10 years, like, if you literally are grinding and you're obsessed and you're just every day studying and learning, and you surround yourself with smart people, and you just work like hell, to be honest, for 10 years, like, there's probably a good chance you'll make it. But if you do that over the course of 6 months or a year, I don't know. Yeah. But that's why I like to think over a span of a decade. A lot of people are very short-term sighted, but you know, as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently, like, you have a good odds of, I don't know, like, killing it, you know? I'm a perfectionist. It's so important. Like, that's your first impression for everyone clicking on the video. So like, I like the whole time leading up to that, I'm just constantly obsessed with mostly the first minute, just like making sure, like, if I were to click on this video, I would like the first minute and that it would hook me. You know what I mean? Only watch things that like inspired me, so I would like try to watch a different show or different things or different genres for inspiration. And I had what I would call like an info diet, and I would always like try to add new things. The thing is, like, you're an idiot until you're successful, then you're smart, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just, at some point you cross that tipping point and people go from judging you and being like, you're too obsessed, you're a freak, blah blah blah, to like, oh, like, whoa, congrats, look at you. You hire people and provide jobs. Like, you're cool, good job. You know what I mean? And it's really like kind of blurry where that line changes. I love anime. It's like, it's so creative and different, and I feel like that inspires me. So number 1's anime, and then number 2 is like, I just try to watch a bunch of different stuff, so I'm just always learning, because you know, you can never learn enough. And like, there could be just one simple thing you learn through watching like an educational video that just like changes how you think and like allows you to just make better decisions for the rest of your life. What helps us make the best videos possible? That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter, views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes, everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible, and thumbnails. But it's easier to, you know, make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for. No one's known for no one's like the biggest YouTuber in the world because they have the best thumbnails, right? It's also because they have great, phenomenal content. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember, you know? So that's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views. If you have 100 subscribers, you have 5 subscribers, if you upload a good enough video, it will get views. Like, if you're not, you're just, I don't want to make such a definitive thing. Take this with a grain of salt. Majority of the time, you're just not making a good enough video if it's not getting views, you know what I mean? If that's your goal, to get views. Obviously, if your goal is not to get views, then who cares, you know what I mean? But you can get 1 million views on a video even if you have 100 subscribers, if the video is good enough. You can, promise. I've seen it happen a bunch. YouTube is what I live and breathe. Take them all away, I don't care, I just want YouTube. YouTube's the future, in my opinion. Television, it's the biggest, it's not going anywhere. It's the most dominant, and I love YouTube more than anything.